Right now at 5:30, strong winds and heavy rains move through the area overnight. We'll take a look at current conditions around Lexington as you prepare to head into work.
Also on WKYT this morning, a Southern Kentucky pastor accused of murder is preparing to go to trial, but developments in the case are calling for some new testimony. We'll explain that just ahead.
And with the Iowa caucuses behind them, presidential candidates look ahead to New Hampshire.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning from WKYT and welcome in. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope your day's off to a great start. It has been a little bit of a rainy overnight.
It was that, but fortunately only that, and that's a good thing. As we had some wind here and there, but no damaging situations. Let's check in. Meteorologist Micah Harris, he is on duty. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, hazard now, getting those heavy downpours. If you're not, just give it a couple of minutes. It rolls on through. And once it starts, it lasts maybe 3 minutes, and it moves on through. This is a very thin line of heavy downpours, and then it moves on past us. Harlan, you're picking that up at this moment too. So it continues to push east, heads up Knott County, heads up Pike County as it's rolling your direction, Letcher County as well. Now let's go through the day. So we are in the mid-50s now, upper 50s in some zones. We get into the afternoon, dry afternoon, mixture of sun and clouds, but temperature is at 50 degrees. So our afternoon temperature is not our high. We've already hit our high. It's not a bad temperature though. Then going off into the night, that's when the cold air really settles on in. Now we'll start off in the 20s tomorrow morning, staying with that mixture of sun and clouds. Maybe a couple of flurries here and there too tomorrow. Not a big issue, but how high do we go with those temperatures the next couple of days? I'll show you that with that cold air in here, and then a pretty nice weekend in store. That's coming up.
Micah, we'll see you then, and if you're heading out this morning, you might want to give yourself a little extra time to account for the weather situation.
Yeah, that's because some heavy winds and rain did move through, leaving some ponding, maybe on the roads, even knocking down a few trees, depending on where you have to drive through. Mark Barber live in Lexington tracking the situation.
Good morning, Rebecca. And at this moment, we're actually seeing a break in the rain, and also those strong winds, they're seeming to maybe die down a little bit. But earlier this morning, those strong winds pushed over a tree here on Tates Creek Road. They also caused some flooding issues. We're told that the minor flooding happened on another busy road, actually washing some rocks onto the area there on Leestown Road. Now, all those issues, they've since been resolved. That tree's been picked up. Those rocks have been cleared away. But the main issue that drivers are still going to see this morning is that standing water on the road. 911 dispatchers, when we spoke with them this morning, they say what's very shocking about all of this is the storm has not caused any accidents so far. They're hoping that remains the case through the morning, but again, those roads are still very slick. There has been standing water reported on the area of New Circle Road between Palumbo Drive and Liberty Road. There's also been areas of ponding water on the right lanes on Nicholasville Road, though. So you're going to want to take your time if you're heading on any of those slick spots this morning, as Bill was mentioning earlier, maybe add a few extra minutes into your drive time. But again, as far as those obstacles go with those down trees, those rocks that were washed onto the roadways, you're not going to see any problems there, but you are going to see some very slick roads. So take your time and stay safe. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. New this morning, a Michigan pastor will be allowed to testify in a Boyle County triple murder case. Kenneth Keith is accused of killing Michael and Angela Hockensmith and Daniel Smith during a robbery at a Danville pawn shop back in 2013. Keith's lawyers tried to argue that 4 phone conversations between Keith and the Michigan preacher after the murders were confidential. The Advocate Messenger reports a judge denied the request to suppress the preacher's testimony. 3 of the 4 conversations he had with Keith were recorded and served as the basis for an arrest warrant.
Well, friends and family came together to honor a Garrett County man who was murdered Monday afternoon. State police say 53-year-old Shane Thomason died Monday after being shot at the Washington County Livestock Center. Those who knew Thomason say he was well liked in the community, and they don't understand why someone would want to kill him. Last night, Thomason's friends held a memorial at his favorite restaurant to remember their friend's life.
He's one of the best. You couldn't ask for a better guy. He'd give you anything he had, help you in any way he could help you.
Police do not have a suspect. The murder is still under investigation.
Funeral arrangements have been made for the late state senator Georgia Davis Powers. Powers passed away Saturday at the age of 92. She was known for her role in the civil rights movement here in Kentucky. She was also the first woman and the first African American elected to a full term in the state Senate. She served there for 21 years. Visitation for Powers will be at the Capitol Rotunda in Frankfort at 1:30 tomorrow. It will continue at St. Stephen Church in Louisville tomorrow night, and her funeral will be there as well. It is scheduled for 11 o'clock on Friday morning. Presidential candidates continue to crisscross the state of New Hampshire this morning ahead of the first in the nation primary that's coming up next week. It, of course, follows the Iowa caucuses. Now pretty much a three-way race on the Republican side among Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Marco Rubio.
And on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is campaigning hard after her really razor-thin victory over Bernie Sanders. Weijia Zhang has the latest from Windham, New Jersey.
Donald Trump took to the campaign trail in Milford, New Hampshire Tuesday, brushing off his second-place standing in Iowa and downplaying Marco Rubio's third-place finish.
He comes in third. I come in second. Trump, no good. Rubio, unbelievable night, unbelievable victory. Unbelievable.
Rubio outperformed expectations in the Hawkeye state, finishing just 1 percentage point behind Trump, the New Hampshire favorite.
We have to go out and convince more people that conservatism is the right approach for America. I've done that and will do that.
The Florida senator is now positioning himself as the alternative to Trump and first-place Iowa finisher Ted Cruz. With the first-in-the-nation primary here in New Hampshire less than a week away, candidates on both sides are flooding the state in an effort to sway voters. While some have already made up their minds.
Everything that Ted Cruz believes in, he acts on. He believes in the best things for America.
Others remain undecided.
I am going to be going to a lot of town halls and, looking at candidates face to face, talking to them face to face.
After beating Bernie Sanders in Iowa by a razor-thin margin, Hillary Clinton has come to the Granite State as the underdog, trailing Sanders by 18 points.
I hope you will choose with both your heart and your mind.
We're going to go to state after state after state after state.
Both candidates could face each other in a possible debate here tomorrow. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Windham, New Hampshire.
Well, there is a Democratic debate scheduled for Thursday, but Bernie Sanders' campaign says he will not participate unless Hillary Clinton agrees to his campaign's conditions on future debates. Clinton's people say her campaign has met the conditions.
Don't know what the conditions are, but that's interesting.
Yeah. A big push is being made today at the Capitol to strengthen Kentucky's animal cruelty laws.
A rally is being held this morning to encourage lawmakers to pass several bills that, if they're passed, would give more protection to animals here in the Commonwealth. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at our live desk now with details of some of these proposed laws. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. Yeah, one of the bills would allow a person to break a window out of a car to save a dog or cat they believe is in distress without legal consequence. Now, people are asking for more protection for animals here in Kentucky. Those rallying today want lawmakers to pass certain bills that will hold those accountable who abuse them. One of the bills would allow vets to release animal welfare information such as abuse to authorities. Currently, this is not legal in Kentucky. Another bill would include stiffer punishment for anyone who owns, breeds, trains, or sells dogs for the purpose of fighting.
I see a lot that the general public does not see. I don't think a lot of them realize that there are dog fighting rings around here.
The rally to support these bills begins at 10:30 this morning at the Capitol Rotunda. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. And a week after Governor Matt Bevin proposed a 2-year state budget, House Democrats say they likely will not approve his spending cuts. The governor is calling for $650 million in cuts, but House Budget Committee Chairman Rick Rand says he does not understand why the cuts are needed when the state is projected to finish the year with a $200 million surplus. The governor says the cuts will help make sure there is enough money for state pensions and for Medicaid.
2 state senators think they can save Kentucky's retirement system. Now the pair from Louisville promoting expanded gaming as a way to try and shore up the struggling system. In the past, lawmakers haven't had much success getting expanded gaming passed. This newly proposed bill allows a constitutional amendment to be added to this fall's ballot allowing gambling, but 90% of the revenue made would go to the state's retirement system and teachers' pension fund.
I think people understand right now the pension crisis is a 3-alarm fire in Kentucky, and the only way out of it, the only way to fix an unfunded liability is to fund it.
The remaining 10% of the revenue would go to the state's horse industry.
A bill that changes Kentucky's informed consent requirement for abortions is now the law. Governor Bevin signed the bill yesterday afternoon after meeting with lawmakers who sponsored it. The state Senate approved the bill Monday afternoon. The new law now requires women to have a face-to-face meeting or a real-time video consultation with a doctor at least 24 hours before having an abortion.
Well, 2015 was a good year for Kentucky bourbon makers. The Distilled Spirits Council said combined U.S. revenue for Kentucky bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, and rye whiskey rose nearly 8% last year. Bourbon revenues outpaced the overall distilled spirits sector. Experts say growing demand for high-priced, super premium brands is making revenues stronger.
And our time this morning is 5:40, 20 before 6. Time to check live drive traffic, see what's going on out there in the rain here on this Wednesday morning that is beginning to fade out. We had some pretty tough showers a couple of hours ago through this area, but you see a lot of green right now, normal travel times at this point throughout most of the region. And see if we can get those drive times here. We'll see what is going on. If you're driving in from one of the surrounding cities this morning, it's a quick ride in from Nicholasville. Just a little slower on Richmond, from Richmond this morning. I-75 slowing just a bit because of that rain and maybe some ongoing ponding of water.
Ponding, also maybe some fallen tree limbs or, twigs.
Yeah, had some reports of some of that certainly this morning. But, luckily, this didn't turn out to be a tough situation.
That is a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, as far as any rough weather. We had a tornado watch in parts of the area early last night, and the elements were in place, but fortunately, it got later, and all that didn't happen. 5:41 is our time on your Wednesday morning.
A South Carolina Zoo has welcomed a new member. Find out what it is when WKYT This Morning returns. What is that?
That's exactly what I just said in my head. What is that? Guess we got to stay tuned to check it out. Defender Radar Network trying to push the rain on out. Once that rain moves on out, then here comes some cooler air. Show you how low we go with those temperatures coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have a pencil-thin line of showers rolling through eastern Kentucky. None of that's going to cause many issues. We're going to see that pass through, I would say, Martin, Prestonsburg. They're in Floyd County here in about 15 to 20 minutes. Hindman now getting in on the mix. Pippa passes your next in line. Alice Lloyd College there in Knott County. Wheelwright, Wayland. Yeah, it's heading your direction here in just about 15 to 20 minutes. And look, it's very thin. This doesn't last long. It lasts maybe 3 to 4 minutes. I mean, ask people in Harlan. It just doesn't last long. Whitesburg, you're next in line. 119 is going to be pretty soaked early this morning if you're leaving within the hour. But once again, Hindman, Pippa passes up towards Salyersville, Prestonsburg, Paintsville. Paintsville, you're starting to feel that heaviest rain. Prestonsburg, you still got about another 5 to 10 minutes before it moves right through your neck of the woods, and then Inez, and then Martin County, and then work your way down toward Pikeville. Pikeville, it increases in about 45 to about an hour. Wet roads this morning. It's going to be a wet go at it for your commute anywhere you go, even in Lexington where it's already faded. We'll have a couple of sprinkles for the next hour, but the rain is really long gone here in Fayette County. Frankfort, that goes for you guys too. London still dealing with showers the next couple of hours. Mountain Parkway, you still have about 3 to 4 hours before we call it quits there with the rain. So the rain is mainly east there for your morning commute. It's going to be pretty wet, yeah, and a lot of people like to slow down, so you may have to add couple extra minutes to that early morning commute. By lunchtime, though, if you're heading out to lunch with any clients, heading out with any friends, looks pretty good. I mean, 52 degrees and mixture of sun and clouds, we'll take that. Not bad. Head off into the afternoon, 50 degrees, sun and cloud mix. So all looks well once we push the rain out the next few hours. Teachers also, you can take the kids out today as it looks pretty good. Tomorrow, I don't think you'll be able to. So you might want to take advantage of today, even though you might have a little bit of a wet playground outside. The mild air gets pushed on out of the way. There goes that front. Jet stream dips southbound, and that will leave us with some cooler air. That cooler air filters in overnight and into tomorrow morning with the 20s tomorrow morning, and we'll finish off there for the 30s for tomorrow. So it's going to be very chilly, even a couple of flurries here and there too, but it's never hurt anybody, right? Dry weekend, though, with temperatures there in the 40s. Pretty good-looking weekend in store. Let's show you that on your 7-day forecast. 50 degrees today. We're at 40% chance of rain there on this morning, and then we head towards your Thursday. And it looks like that flurry chance is in the forecast. Like I said, that's not a big issue. Our next best chance at picking up anything, another system, is going to be Monday. So winter still fights on after a beautiful weekend. We'll be there with some snow showers on Monday. Does that look like a big storm? There is no chance for this to be anything like what we had last time. There's zero possibility of that. The reason why I know that is coming in from the north, doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, but still some snow showers, light snow showers, will still give us a few issues there on Monday, maybe for some schools, something to watch out for in the days to come.
Okay, we'll do that. And in the meantime, nice little break.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, yesterday was great.
Yeah, it looks good.
It really was. All right, it's 5:48 now, and the Greenville Zoo down in South Carolina has a new baby giraffe.
Zookeepers say the mother, Autumn, gave birth yesterday morning without any complications. So apparently that's what that is, a baby giraffe. This is Autumn's third calf. The first now lives at the Toronto Zoo, and the second was stillborn. The new baby will have a physical exam to determine sex, height, and weight. The zoo is offering a chance to name the new baby for those who want to contribute a donation. Isn't that cute?
Very cute.
They say a name will be chosen sometime later this week.
All right.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it
Trying
really
to get
is.
up and walk.
Mama seems doing fine as well.
You fall down, you get back up, right?
Right. Good to have you along on WKYT this morning, and hope your Wednesday's off to a good start.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
We'll check traffic again, see how things are moving along with some lingering rain out there this morning. Also, what's hot on the web and social media, and more on WKYT. Good morning. Welcome back in. WKYT this morning on the air, and here we are on your Wednesday, February 3rd, 5:52.
Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Severe weather caused some damage throughout much of the south yesterday. Here in the Bluegrass, we saw mainly heavy rain and some gusty winds through the overnight hours. And while those winds caused a few fallen tree branches, road crews say conditions are fairly normal this morning for the commute. Give yourself a little extra time, though, as you head into work due to potentially slick roads in some areas of town. A little ponding of water in some areas as well.
Presidential candidates continue to crisscross the state of New Hampshire ahead of course, the first in the nation primary next week.
Following the Iowa caucuses, it's now pretty much a three-way race on the Republican side among Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Marco Rubio. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is campaigning hard after her razor-thin victory over Bernie Sanders. Parts of the South bracing for more severe weather today, just a day after being hit by storms and tornadoes. Mississippi and Alabama had extensive damage Tuesday. Twisters tore apart homes and other structures. The same weather system buried parts of the Great Plains under heavy snow, creating a big mess for travelers up that way.
Topping this morning's health headlines, drugs used to treat anxiety and insomnia are apparently not linked to an increased risk of dementia.
And that is the finding of the newest research on tranquilizers such as Valium and Xanax. A study in the BMU found no association with dementia, but it recommends that doctors avoid these drugs for senior citizens to prevent other health risks.
Parkinson's patients may be at higher risk for falling and hip fractures for years before being diagnosed. Researchers in Sweden studied more than 24,000 patients. They found that in the 15 years before diagnosis, Parkinson's was associated with a 36% higher risk of hip fracture. 5:54 is the time. Let's get a check right now. Today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic. Things looking pretty good out there for you this morning. Obviously, we've had some overnight rain and a little bit of wind, so keep that in mind. There could be, some fallen tree limbs or branches out there, so could impact or impede your commute as well as ponding water. Time to check now what's making it news online with Bill.
Well, same thing really. We have the latest for you anytime on WKYT.com, and weather is calming down after some heavy rain overnight. Those severe elements, though, faded before they reached the Bluegrass. Micah's updated forecast with some cooler temperatures is online for you right now. There will be a big rally for animals this morning in Frankfort. Advocates are pushing for tougher animal cruelty laws. We'll be covering that, and we have information up about how you can weigh in on the proposals. Also trending, Democrats in the State House now saying they are unlikely to approve the cuts called for in Governor Matt Bevin's budget proposal. The House Budget Chairman questioning why there would be deep cuts when the state expects a surplus. A tough loss for the Wildcats last night down in Knoxville. Kentucky was up 21 points at one time, but the Vols kept fighting, and in the end it was Tennessee with the win. Our article there talks about what went wrong down on Rocky Top and how the Cats will get ready now for Florida coming up on Saturday. On Kentucky.com, a new aquatics plan out for Lexington. It calls for an indoor pool and 2 aquatic centers. The city's pools have suffered financially in recent years, and leaders are trying to come up with a brand new strategy for all of that. Coming up next hour, we'll show you on our WKYT Facebook page more about a dancing guy from Lexington. We're going to have some of that video for you. He's inspired by Michael Jackson, we'll just say that. And CBS This Morning is coming up at 7 with your eye opener and our local updates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
A thin line of showers making their way through eastern Kentucky. It's pushing off toward Pike County. Heads up, Pike County. You are next in line along with Martin County. But other than that, I mean, you're talking about some light to moderate rain back behind that. It's not much to this. It's really weakened, and that's some good news for us. By 8 a.m., still some wet roads out there. You got to keep that in mind. But look at these temperatures, 55 this morning to about 59 degrees, and then we drop it to roughly 50 by the afternoon with that mixture of sun and clouds. So things are looking pretty good later on today. If you're about to take off, you got to leave us. Have a good day. Take off and enjoy. And be careful out there on the roads with those wet roads. If you're not, you're sticking with us. We'll see you right back here with another hour of WKYT News.